Yeah, for sure. I mean, it sucks as a support main, but this Shadow Demon doesn't have a game anymore, right? Like you're gonna get dived by Earth Spirit, you're gonna get dived by Ember Spirit, you're just complete paper essentially against this lineup, and everything is still a little bit slow to be able to counter you, right? The Rolling Thunder takes a little bit of time to queue up, the Fire Blast takes a little bit of time and is very short range. So I feel like as long as when Narman's looking to roll in, he's looking to do it around perhaps some cliff wards and place that observer ward right at the start of these team fights, then it'll be in a really good spot for them to be able to come out on top. They are kind of squishy though. I
Radiant
mean, Earth
team
Spirit's
ban.
reasonably
Here's some
tanky,
more
but
here.
I don't know. Like, I guess the Pugna pushes towers, but I'm feeling a distinct lack of stuns right now on Army Geniuses. That's the big thing that I feel is lacking. So they've still got what would appear to be their mid laner left,
10
and not that
seconds
you're going to pick a
remaining.
puck into an Ember
Dire
Spirit. I think
team
that's
ban.
suicide. They end up banning it anyway. But yeah, something like a Storm isn't horrible this game. What else? Void Spirit, not terrible. Either one of those should be fine. I mean, you. What else have you got? I mean, the
10
Ogre
seconds
Ursa
remaining.
combination. They do still kind of need something that helps with sieging
5
towers, though.
seconds
I don't think you could
remaining.
put everything on the back of this Ursa.
I
The
th-
track's gone, DP's gone.
I think that might be a
Freeze.
little. I just feel like the Ursa is not your win condition hero. So sure, you could play
Mm.
around ending the game early. I struggle to see how his matchup's going to fare with the Pugna though, because I feel like Decrypt to kite the Ursa is going to be very annoying, and they're really reliant on Xiaoyu to have a good game, so Ursa doesn't get controlled. So
Bro, demonic cleanse. That's exactly what you need, right? Just
Radiant
pop that onto
team
the
ban.
Ursa and keep them running forward.
all right, but how does he hit someone if they're Decrypt?
That's what
Okay.
the demonic purge
Ah,
is for.
ah, okay. I understand. I understand. Yeah, I feel like your Alina could be a consideration, but the only concern is Earth Spirits rotating and like an
Yep.
Ember
10
slight
seconds
chains to be able to set
remaining.
up for that. Like that's my big
Yep.
concern. But I feel like ChubbyBoiz will not
5
scale.
seconds remaining.
They're not going to scale too great with the Ursa, especially if he has a bad carry matchup, which we're still yet to see for DB.
Dire team ban.
A Legion
Team
ban.
Commander, huh? I mean, I still think the Invoker kind of is on the cards. It allows, again, Ursa to scale even further with Alacrity. You can siege towers somewhat with your Fire Spirits. You're not quite as vulnerable in the laning stage.
10 seconds.
Uh,
Radiant team pick.
Might not be too bad.
We're pretty set in stone that this is going to be Azure Ember, yeah?
Pretty sure, yeah. I'm also thinking, like, could they Dragon Knight into this? It's not horrible, but then they could just run the
10
Pugna mid
seconds
and then just make
remaining.
his life horrible.
5
Yeah, it does give you a
seconds
way to take
remaining.
objectives on ChubbyBoiz. A frontline, another
Dire
initiator, which is
team
going to help
pick.
out for Army Genius. They
Ricky.
go the good old DB Ricky. Oh
All right.
boy.
You know what? All throughout the qualifiers and all the third-party tournaments that we've been doing, I've been like, come on, shift up the meta a little bit. Army Geniuses, thank you very much. You've been listening. We get to see a Pugno, we get to see a Ricky, we get to
10
see an Earth
seconds
Spirit.
remaining.
Let's see if it's a welcome addition
5
or if it's just going
seconds
to be like,
remaining.
nope, the meta is what it is because it's good. Don't pick other heroes
Yeah,
because they're
but
just not good enough.
this was an Army Geniuses lineup like pre 7.31 anyway. They like the
True.
Ricky. We always see the Pugna potential, and it looks like an Army Geniuses draft through and through. Even though we, of course, with this new patch, and like you said, though, how's it going to fare? That's the question. So, I mean, now we're looking for the Ricky. Oh, sorry, the position 2 for Sillon. Is anything maybe standing out a little bit more now with this Ricky being picked up?
Uh, I think as long as your vision game is good, I think they can still go down the route of Lena. I think it's fine, right? You've got a lot of burst potential to be able to take care of Weaver, Pugna, Ember Spirit, hell, even the Ricky. It gives you that sieging potential. Ogre Magi just buffs you up even further. They
Void
go Void
Now
Spirit.
incoming.
Okay, I
select
mean,
your
this doesn't help
heroes.
you with taking towers at all, but
Hmm.
I mean, this is going to be a pretty brawly game, I would assume, right? Like, Wami is your entire push on Army Geniuses, and on ChubbyBoiz, it's basically behind MKS. At least he's going to be buffed up by Seal, but I don't know. This feels like a game where when you're looking to go up onto that high ground, there could be some turnaround potential just because of how vulnerable you need to be when you're going for any sort of siege.
Well, last season we did the kind of prediction battle where we were trying to see who was able to get the most correct predictions. Well, a free meal, a juicy drink, and well, I think we have 4 mate cans or something like that. Let's say we do the same thing. I think
10
you said we were
seconds
tied
remaining.
last season. I still believe I won, but anyway, that's okay. We can
5
have that
seconds.
conversation
That's
another
not
day.
true.
Okay,
I
sure.
literally was ahead with 1 series left, and I
Okay.
could have gone the same pick, and I
Yes.
didn't, just
Yes,
out of the
yes.
goodness of my heart. But yeah, sure, let's do it again. I mean, I've got my mate here, so I'd be happy to replenish my supply.
Oh, you're a bit cocky, bit cocky. Well, you can start then. Who do you feel like is going to take this game on?
Let's go memes. I want to see Army Geniuses go with these unorthodox picks. I feel like they've got some tower push. I want to see if Wami goes the Aghanim Shard as well. I haven't really seen it used to full effectiveness in a lot of fights, but I feel like they've got enough chaos to potentially enable it, right? You've got an Earth Spirit diving onto the back lines. You've got Ricky with Silence and Sleep Dart. Ember Spirit, of course, searing chains. So maybe they do have the potential to go for it. It does feel like you're very vulnerable, though, if you're just sitting there and using your life drain on your own Nether Ward.
Yeah, it's a shard that is exciting. You know, flashy, looks cool, but the value, how really worth is it? I guess is the question. Maybe we get to see it come out from the one we Pugna. But like you said, I don't know if it's a good thing you're saying about the memes. Maybe you're kind of talking a little bit smack about Army Genius's draft here.
never.
Yeah, okay. You know, we'll see. But
Look
I
at that. MVP in 10 of the 20 most recent matches on DB with his Ricky. Last game was like 29-6. How can you go past the man?
Well, we'll find out. We've got the players set with the draft set as well. Game 1 ready to rock and roll. And I mean, look at that. Azura level 30 on the... Oh my
Prepare for
god.
battle.
Wami's level 30 as well. On the
Mhm.
puck. Jesus. How can you...
And he's master tier as well on the Earth Spirit. We got some hero spammers here, man.
I don't know. Yeah, Xiao Yu as well with the Pango. Dude, everyone really likes their hero. That's understandable. I mean, you got some fun heroes in a game like this. So, before we kick it off, there was a lot of chatting in the lobby before we got underway between Xiao Yu and DB. And they're already they're already kicking off. It looks like DB's got another boo. It feels like every single time we watch Army Geniuses, they have this... they have a girlfriend's name behind them, and it's looking like the case for DB again.
What a player, man. We're having a new one coming
30
through.
seconds to battle.
What's the... what do you think I'm going to say? Are there any blocks happening? Not just yet. I mean, it's not the strongest lineup for it, I suppose. Actually, what was the situation here with these observer wards to the right of the Dire Tier 1 tower? It's like the Radiant one went up 8 seconds before, so probably placed it down while still in the smoke and was able to get away.
So I know you said Army Geniuses with the memes, but do you actually feel like they have a lineup that's just a little bit stronger? Because I'm very 50-50 at the moment. I feel like this is a bit of an awkward game where we don't really see some hard late game condition for either side. Team fight's a bit lacking, initiation's a bit lacking. Undecided at the moment.
So you're wanting me to convince you, basically?
Sure, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I mean, again, I feel like they have the greater potential to be able to siege. Not that you exactly want to put a Pugner onto the front lines with the Nether Blast, but I mean, it's one of these heroes that it just keeps getting better and better through very minor increments. Like the Nether Blast slowly got more and more cast range in recent times. Not in the most recent patch, but it does enable you that slight bit of extra safety with being able to go for a lot of this high ground siege. The other thing that I'm considering as well is that I feel Ember Spirit is one of the most busted heroes this patch. And against the Void Spirit in the mid lane, Void Spirit has pretty terrible armor to be able to go against this. So even though he has gone for the Flame Guard, and I'm not going to question a Grandmaster Ember Spirit player, I feel like you really want to be abusing the Sleight of Fist as much as possible against any kind of low armor target, whether it be a Puck, Void Spirit, whatever.
Yeah, well, I guess the nice thing, though, with the Flame Guard is because Void Spirit has this physical protection with the Resonant Pulse, and Flame Guard doesn't give a damn about that. So, I worry on the Ursa matchup. I feel like you are heavily reliant, like I spoke about in the draft, for Xiao Yu to actually lock a lot of heroes down with the Pango. I think he will have a pretty solid game because there's no like BKB piercing stun, and the instant control on Army Geniuses is a little bit lacking. So I feel like Xiao Yu's going to have a pretty good time, but if MKS can play along with the Pango in fights, then that's going to be the question. As you brought up previous with that ward, looks like Varese is just going to let the Ember Spirit get the solo kill. I'm gonna hop on the Oracle's train, and I'm gonna give the edge to AG as well.
Okay. Is any of that based on the fact of what we were talking about at the very start of the draft? You know, a roster that's been together for a long time, perhaps a little bit more stable and solid understanding of how each other plays versus the relatively new 5-stack of ChubbyBoiz?
Honestly, no, but it's something that, like, now bringing it up, you kind of do have to take into consideration a little bit. I just, like, the Ember has got a very good matchup versus the Void Spirit, and it's one of Azura's best heroes, and it's a Nam and Earth Spirit as well. And I just feel like you have a little bit easier of a time taking towers on Army Geniuses, and I think that's a huge thing. But Dire, I mean, I can see them taking your first Roche, second Roche, and all of a sudden, ChubbyBoiz is just going to control the map, and we always know what happens when Ursa gets second Roche. Like, that is a big concern for the opposition.
Sure, but it's a Dire Ursa, right? Like, it's very different from Radiant Ursa, where it's a little bit easier to be able to claim it. And again, the thing that enables you to go for that Roche is oftentimes being able to secure the tier 1 tower in both top and whichever lane is closest, top and mid. So the fact that they don't have great tower push leads me to think that, you know, Ursa's not going to get quite as much of a free Roche.
So I guess that maybe comes down to now with the catapult timings and how ChubbyBoiz can look to play around that.
Yeah, I would say so, absolutely. And, I mean, Army Geniuses, they'll know that. They know that they've got a very weak pushing lineup right now. So I'm sure we'll see Narman in particular looking to set up, perhaps to go for some kind of counter push, right? If someone's looking to come along by with a siege, honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me to see him, like, kick the catapult back underneath his own tower, just so it's removed from the equation entirely.
And how do we feel like Narman's actually going to put himself into action through the laning phase? Is this a lane that he can maybe leave Wami alone and help out mid?
I don't think him rotating mid is really going to result in too much of anything. Pugna has one of the lowest HPs in the entire game to be able to start off, so I don't think you can go too far away from Wami. He just needs to put himself there onto the front lines. He's out of regen, so he'll need to buy himself a little bit more, but, you know, obviously great strength gain on an Earth Spirit. He just needs to pop himself there in harm's way.
Looks like the mid lane at the moment, pretty even between the two. Already got the bottles from both the spirits. And I guess does feel like Radiant, though, with their potential to be able to secure the rune. Oh, Silen's actually pushing back Azura. Value of the chains actually will be able to reposition to the safety of his high ground, but it's kind of a lot of brawling so far throughout our lanes. No kill unfortunately picked up as, well, maybe bottom DB. Pushing back Jarbon him. Well, there we go. As soon as I say it, a bit of a jinx as DB is able to find our early kill. And they even go for Xiao Yu. No blink strikes. We'll have the tricks of the trade and a blink up in a couple of seconds here. Plenty of one charge in case Xiao Yu feels like he can stand his ground to man fight.
I feel like that was kind of an attempt out of necessity. The Shadow Demon's always going to have a bad lane against a Weaver. Weaver's just constantly going to be bullying you. He was so close, actually, to being able to kill Varese. He had a tango ticking and survived on about 5 HP after he popped the Shadow Poison. So, gone for that first blood, didn't work out, and the kill, obviously, as we saw, went to the Ricky in exchange.
And now you've given some pretty early levels over as well to the Weaver. Like level 3 now for Varese, and definitely feels like those early levels on the Weaver is a little bit more difficult for you to lane. Yes, he's still a pretty strong laning stage hero, but it takes a bit more for you to get to that broken stage.
I do want to commend Silone, though. He's playing a fantastic game so far in this mid lane, getting the better end of a lot of these trades, a lot of denies through, particularly onto his range creeps, and a little bit of a lack of communication, if I'm being honest, between Varese as well as Azura. Varese made the full rotation towards the bottom 4-minute water rune, and I mean, Azura was going towards that one as well, so they weren't able to claim both of them. Maybe make that lane a little bit harder for the Void Spirit.
Oh, thanks.
How is the Ursa going? So this is with MKS in his starting lane. I wasn't sure if maybe the Pugna would be able to to be able to limit how much last hits the Ursa would get just because of the range and the decret factor is bottom. Shadow Demon and Weaver both gonna go down. Xiao Yu just able to get the swashbuckle out, but Naaman can continue the hunt along with DB thanks to the gap close. And DB picks up a double kill. So already off to a great start for the Riki.
Absolutely. And
Does
you've got a
leave
Weaver
Wami
coming
solo
out.
though top. MKS and Seal attempting the dive on the Pugner. Ignite's about to expire, but they've already got so many stacks from the Ursa. He needs one more swipe. In fact, he can just rely on the Earthshock to get the kill.
Yep. That's what's going to happen. Anytime you leave this Pugner alone, it's just such a strong kill lane. You're obviously holding the stun for as long as possible to make sure he's not able to just TP away under the Decrepify, but still able to chase him down very easily.
Is this... What are you expecting the build to be from the Ursa with such a strong laning start that MKS has had?
Question. I mean, is he going to try and just outscale the enemy team? Is he going to go full Battle Fury? Honestly, it's a possibility. You know, he's going into the power treads as opposed to phase boots, right? So he's not going to go for some, like, chase down build.
Yeah, I was thinking if he could even go to the Battle Fury, because I feel like games where Ursa doesn't scale as well into the enemy's carry, it's not as value of an item, but because you see the Riki is your counterpart, I think you do scale better than him, so wouldn't be surprised if MKS does feel like that's the route to go down.
Complete ward battle going on. They've gotten rid of 3 sentry wards on this bottom side here.
He's already level 6, man. There's going to be a lot of damage thanks to the cloak and dagger. He's held back in invulnerability for a little bit. Xiao Yu's got another round of the shield crash though. Level 3 to the burst. It's enough to secure the kill. DB's still pushing back the Penglir, but he will not have enough damage to end up rectifying the Weaver dying.
Getting very aggressive, even though he had the 34% damage reduction from the shield crash out there. So missing a couple of creeps under the tower on DB. Can't complain too much though. He is 3-0-1.
Xiao Yu just charge up the Rolling Thunder. Is going to try and get in straight to DB. DB can play around with the blink back to the creep, so Xiao Yu's actually going to try and kill this one off. But now with the rotation from Naaman, Shadow Demon protected for a little while, but now with Xiao Yu, they can just turn to the Penglir after, thanks to extra support rotation from Varese. Man, DB is just demolishing this bottom lane.
He's doing well. Granted, not sure if it's the best decision to be able to go for the Rolling Thunder in that situation. You know, sure, you might have got a nice level 6 timing, but Shadow Demon isn't going to be helping you out all that much. I feel like you need to rely on the Demonic Purge for that extra little bit of damage before you're kind of going to get any kind of kill.
Silan? Yo! They're going to jump him. Naaman kick back into zero, but a double astral step. They're going to see that this was both you, so they can dive. A slight mistake from Silan, but that's a drastic one, as Army Geniuses will capitalize.
They've been really good as well with the recognition of making sure these sentry wards are removed. They would have also seen the fact that there's an observer ward in the mid lane as well, so that's going to be even more of a burst of net worth gain coming through to them as they do place it down again.
So it will be the diffuser build.
On Ember.
Ooh.
One more Shadow Poison and he was dead. Oh, top lane. Let's seal.
They've also onto Naaman as well from MKS. Be able to get one kill, the trade of the Ogre. So both cores finding some kills and gold and experience for the lads.
For sure, and I mean, the big difference is the amount of times that DB's just been able to be the last man standing in a lot of these engagements, so he's actually got a little bit of a experience lead here, 1.5 levels actually, as he's looking to go into that Diffusal Blade build. Again, you're a Riki, right? You're not going to be the one that scales for the late game. His job is to make sure that he gets on top of the Shadow Demon, gets on top of the Pangolier, locks him down, is able to burst down with the assistance coming through from the Ember and the Earth Spirit, to make sure that you don't have that team fight control, because I feel like without this Pangolier, you've just got the freedom to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, we are seeing pre-10 minutes Army Geniuses. They're looking to group up. You know, they've got Wami with maxed out Nether Blast already, so this tower is going to fall at a pretty rapid rate. Are they going to think about defending bottom? There's already one TP going out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Varese? Man, Varese just gonna get blown up. That was super goody. Alright.
Well, they've taken attention away from the top side at least, and they actually just end up giving it to DB entirely. Not even using Wami for it, so... I mean, the fact that Pugna isn't sieging, they should have an indication that this sort of attempt is happening.
And they'll see it now. They'll get the recognition of Wami and Narman. Gonna rotate to pair with the Zero at the middle lane. So it will be a tier 1 trade, but also a couple of pickoffs across the map. Dire, they are starting to rotate over though. A lot of initial damage to the Void Spirit. They've got the stun. Xiaoyu's next to a cliff as well, but he doesn't get that secondary one to chain control Azura.
The rune of regeneration.
Just wondering if they might use the decrep onto the catapult there just to keep the pressure going into the mid lane, but I mean, you've claimed top, got a lot of damage into that mid tower. I feel like you're pretty happy so far if you're Army Geniuses. Have to be a little bit careful though about diving onto an Ogre Magi. Still so tanky.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And now without Rolling Thunder, do you feel like they can hold this tower? Oh, that's going to be so filthy as the game goes on. This burst potential with the maxed out boulder, the chains from afar, the blast as well, but ChubbyBoiz, they don't want to let this go for free. One was going to attempt the TP out. Xiao Bonbon has the cancel for that. That's going to jump over to the river with Sealan. Trying to lock onto Azura. Nice placing with the Render as well. So Azura's just going to have to play around with disengaging with his old movement speed. And, well, that's enough. They don't want to dive deep.
To be able to get away with just one death is a pretty good situation, right? Again, Mickey continues to farm. I believe he's got his diffuser blade now. Just needs to
might
wait
still be in
for
trouble. Gonna juke to the north. Now the rest of Army Geniuses are looking to show up though. Oh, DB just got diffusal.
Yep.
This is scary. Xiaoyu's gonna be under trouble. Nama doesn't get in range for the roll, but still is able to lock him in place without the abilities to get out of the smoke. And Army Geniuses, they want to try and get the illusion rune. Azura might step in, making sure he's able to continue to dodge to Remren. MKS posturing aggressively. Early use in the rage. They're going to try and hold back the Ursa as best as possible. A great use of the Earth Shock. Makes it to safety on MKS. But the rest of our ChubbyBoiz, they might not have the same fate. As Void Spirit dies behind the tier 1 tower, they're going to continue to chase Xiao Bonbon down as well. As Azura swipes the kill thanks to the Sly. And now with the tier 1 gone, this is defensive formation completely broken. They can continue to hunt to the higher ground as MKS is unable to be safe throughout the jungle. And now the healers as well, keeping the Weaver alive until Xiaoyu swipes him down with the swashbuckle. But at AG, they've got the numbers advantage. From one target to the second they go. The burst so goddamn high at the early stage. With the Void Spirit.
Gotta be careful.
Yo!
It's a long TP though, so Narman, he's gonna be able to get out in time.
Zero.
Very nicely done. I mean, this is what you need to do, right? I was saying this was going to be a bloodbath. You either go down the avenue of Ursa builds into something like the Battle Fury, or you go something where you're just getting super aggressive. With the Power Treads, I mean, it's kind of nice just to be able to farm, but it feels to me like he is having a little bit of trouble with just how mobile Army Geniuses heroes are. I mentioned the difference between Power Treads and Phase Boots, and it's really showing itself.
Yeah, I wonder, like, once he gets Blink, it'll feel a little bit easier for him to get into the fight when the Void Spirit starts and when the Pain Growth starts. But like you said, that's at the moment where we're seeing the treads be a bit more of a concern where the phase would have come into play.
What I want to see is Xiaoyu put a lot more value on his own life. I mean, just, you don't even need to use the Rolling Thunder, but just the fact that you've got the threat of it potentially
Action
coming
doesn't
through.
stop, Danog. We continue on. Silan already brought down to about 1/3 health, so it's going to have to Astral step back defensively. Rest of Radiant throw. Oh my, Xiaoyu. That's a great Rolling Thunder. But still, Silan, he's cautious. Standing on the high ground, doesn't want to jump in just yet until he finds an angle. The stun control, it's perfect. And now MKS, he too feels like this is a fight that he can show up with the Ember Spirit dropping. Narman? Just gets clipped from the Remnant. Oh, Silan, nice play. This pick actually might give them Roche. Yeah, they're going to lead straight into it. ChubbyBoiz Really nice angle back into this game.
Is under attack.
Can't be chain feeding like that if you're going to try and get a good set. I mean, you've got the Weaver and a Ricky here. They're both still feeling very strong
If he
at
keeps
this
getting
point in the game.
bashed, is DB gonna go for this?
They're coming back soon. Ember Spirit and Pugna are alive.
I gotta get rid of the bug so he doesn't see. Oh, DB. No, he's actually Chub. Okay. Oh, they baited Rouge. DB's still nearby. But like you said, Army Geniuses, they are respawning, but they're not in a position to keep DB alive. As Ricky loses his streak, the casualties starting to stack up as MKS feel like a man on a mission here with the Aegis advantage. The Immortal almost getting ticked down. And Earthshock back to the river as MKS hopping away to the safety of his jungle. Wow, what an action-packed game we got to kick our Division 2 off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, the pressure is on Army Geniuses, right? You need to make sure you're being very aggressive when you've got this Ricky lineup. You're not going to scale as hard as an Ursa does. And speaking of, you need to be a little careful about getting caught out here. But yeah, Wami really showing the weakness of that Pugna. So squishy. He's gone for 0 items that are going to give him any kind of extra strength. So he's still sitting at 900 at the 16-minute mark of the game. So you can't just walk up to a team fight. They're going to burst you down.
You reckon they can burst a 0 down? I don't know. That was a bit awkward of a rotation.
Has he got a Maelstrom coming out to him? Okay, so he's going to be able to farm up a little bit, I suppose. And again, the damage output is quite nice. I'm honestly a little surprised that Pugna didn't put the 1 value point into the Netherwood. He's just got it now. But even just the potential for reducing spell damage by 10% from everyone in its range is pretty damn significant. Look at what you're up against, right? Only the Ursa really doesn't care about that.
I feel like for Army Geniuses, though, they have this lineup that can just poke from afar and forcing out these early abilities, maybe early wasting BKBs, which I think is going to be so important for them to hit at a timely manner this game. Bottom lane, be able to find Seal around the cliff location. Radiant, they do have a ward at the outpost as well, so they are going to see Jean Bonbon along with MKS starting to put their attention down to the bottom triangle.
They're hitting some very big item timings on ChubbyBoiz. That's the Yule Scepter on the Void Spirit. I believe Pang goes 200 or so away from his Blink Dagger. I mean, this is big, right? It means that Xiao Yu doesn't need to be right in the middle of a lot of these engagements to be able to start things off, but much more of the surprise factor. Still got this high ground ward as well. You can't go into Ursa. They can't.
He was wanting a backstab. See them slowly posturing forward as well. Both sides have really good vision, but I guess what's happening across the map is DB's farming. He's got Yasha now completed, is pretty happy with what he's getting.
What he's looking to go into next? I mean, to me, it feels like you get a BKB and you've got a very happy team fight for the next little bit, right? You already have the trick of the trade. Ooh.
Well, should be enough. Silence is still out. Will the Shadow Demon be able to step in and offer him... get out of... Escape, Joe! No, it won't matter! No, man! Dude, his Earth Spirit's bonkers! How did he land that? Oh my! You almost had to get out of the jail card from the Shadow Demon, but Naaman says, no, back you go.
Playing a great game. This is like the difference maker that you have, right? Naaman is one of those players in Division 2 that you could say has that legitimate X factor when it comes to what he's able to do, even just from the support position.
It's had a lot of value on this player. And throughout his career, we've just seen the playmaking potential that he's been able to provide a team in the position 4 role. And as soon as we saw the Earth Spirit out, we're like, hang on a second, Naaman Earth Spirit is something you got to fear. And he's level 11, so Magnetite is soon to be at the 2nd level. And yeah, that is some damage that you have to respect prior to these BKBs.
I mean, I love the fact that he himself is going for the BKB, right? Like, again, what do you really care about anyone on ChubbyBoiz lineup except for the Ursa, as long as you're able to pick that one up?
Radiant, you're under a ward. Chain's going to be able to stop the initial roll. Naaman's going to look to jump and push Xiao Yu away. They are targeting Wami down at the moment, though, in the river. ChubbyBoiz surrounding the Pugna. Now with the banishment, Xiao Yu just gets in range as well. Perfect synergy ChubbyBoiz bring the fight to Army Geniuses. And now with those 2 picks, they've got 20 seconds left and they should get the T1 tower.
Yep, this is the opening that you need to be able to take a lot of these towers, right? It's either winning a team fight or being able to play effectively around the siege creeps, and they hadn't done the latter, so just had to go for that aggressive kill. I mean, you can understand why Army Geniuses went for that sort of play. They had vision at that sort of area. It's nighttime, so you've got to have a very big vision advantage over ChubbyBoiz. It just didn't work out. Strength of numbers really came into effect. Reese is going a very greedy build as well. He's already got the ATOS going into the Gleipnir, just wanting that extra little bit of damage output coming from a Weaver.
How do you feel like the Gleipnir is actually enabling Army Geniuses once he completes it, compared to, you know, a different item for him?
I mean, it does give pretty decent stats, right, for what you want to do. Anyone that constantly wants to be casting spells, Gleipnir's great on. But, you know, you've got the Geminate attack as well, and, oh, having to be careful of an Ursa. Oh, there you go. Good first use of the ATOS. To me, whenever we see a Weaver go this greedy
build... Rolling mid, Xiaoyu once again is able to find the connection. Bouncing back to the Ember. Can they get the third stun? Xiaoyu on the pink clear, creating so much chaos as Zero, though, stands his ground. Remnant out, another one, but he's still got a tick to the Purge. As Radiant, they brought the number to take the brawl, and my oh my, the damage. It's too much for ChubbyBoiz, as they'll have 4 dropping compared to the 2.
Fortunately there for Naman, he did get healed up by Wami at the very end, otherwise he would have been able to live as well. But that's the difference with a Pugna, where you're actually able to not just throw him onto the front lines, have someone else to create a lot of havoc. Ricky, Ember Spirit, Earth Spirit, just throw them in harm's way, and he's able to do so much more, dealing nearly 3,000 damage in that one team fight alone. So what I was saying before about the Weaver is, whenever I see it, I mean, Zephyr does it on T1 quite a bit, right? He goes into greedy even builds, even like building a Daedalus sometimes on a position 4 Weaver. This is position 5, so you have to be a little bit more stingy with your money. But it does mean that a lot of the times you feel like you kind of either have to focus a Weaver down completely just so that the time lapse isn't there, or you just ignore him, right? Because it's a position 5 Weaver, it's not going to do that much. But if you've actually got these items that enable you to do very consistent damage, constantly use your spells with all the intelligence that it gives you, then it makes it a very difficult proposition, right? Like, do we need to focus all of this onto Weaver? Because if they do that, then, you know, kind of like that team fight, Pugna's going to have a free team fight. Ember Spirit's going to have a free team fight. Ricky's going to have a free team fight. So it kind of makes you guess a little bit more on ChubbyBoiz as to, okay, well, who is the main target that we want to focus down? I still feel like every single time it's Wami. Wami is the one that they need to focus, so that's why I really like his item build. Glimmer Cape, very defensive. He's got the Keen Optic and the Aether Lens, so that Nether Blast has a really safe range for when he's looking to siege, but when teamfights are about to break out, he's just going to play nowhere near the rest of the team because he knows he can blink in afterwards and have that big impact.
We have seen, though, the value that both these position 3s are providing. Yeah, you just spoke about Pugna, but for the Penglir, I mean, even though he's 4, 5, and 6 KDA, Xiaoyu, now with the Aghanim Shard, he's going to be that much more difficult to deal with in fights. With what's going on bottom? Ursa and Ricky. DB's currently winning the man fight. It's soon to end. Xiaoyu's with this chain control through the past 2 fights has gotten the Ember killed. So we're going to continue that to be the case until probably BKB from Azura, but still, like, maybe if ChubbyBoiz have the ward advantage, they could jump.
I mean, it's about vision regardless. You learn, look at his positioning coming through here. I don't know if they actually saw that coming through. It's daytime, so they probably did. But, yeah, I mean, it's honestly, whoever wins these team fights is going to be who jumps on the enemy team's position 3 first, because he doesn't have BKB, right, on the Pango, and he's not going to for some time. But, you know, you've got silences, you've got a stun so far on Army Geniuses. You've got the potential to be able to lock him down.
Look at this. EV trying to scout out anyone TPing behind the T2. They're going to make sure they...
doing the safer push.
I like that a lot, because we saw them trailing the Ursa by the triangle, and then all of a sudden they moved across the map and started to play defensively by their outposts, and you're more than likely that's an area that's warded, and running up a high ground where you have no vision is... That's a death trap. That's not an area of the map you want to take at all. So, yeah, like you said, they're just going for the easier push, which is bottom.
It's only a couple of nether blasts away from being able to claim it. Not that the triangle really is the super high priority target that you want to get. They're checking for Roche on ChubbyBoiz. Unfortunately for them, kind of a longish time, but Ursa has that BKB, so the next time a fight breaks out might be in about 2 minutes time, and that'll set them up perfectly for a Roche attempt.
Okay, I know you were speaking, like we were just mentioning a lot about the position threes, and it's going to come down to what side is able to bring the 3 down first. How do we look to see Ricky use the sleeping dart, though? He's now bought it. Who is he controlling to take them out of action in the fight?
Could just be one of these ones where he's just trying to set up for the rest of the team to look to come in. It might not be taking them out of a team fight entirely.
Okay. Radiant. Trailing ChubbyBoiz, but again, we kind of see the difficulty of them being able to start the fights. Oh. Freeze.
They know, like, they're constantly going to be looking to take fights around this Roche pit, right? They know if they win, they're going to take it. They know that if Army Geniuses win, not the strongest lineup, right, to be able to take it. You do have the Swarm, and I suppose you've got the Orb of Corrosion on Ricky. But outside of that, very weak Roche potential on Army Geniuses.
Zero. They're going to scan. On the mark, but a remnant out. Ricky's not the worst at doing Roche as long as he can backstab.
Yeah.
Freeze. Maybe when the MKS gets Basher, it's going to be a bit easier, because, again, it's Rolling Thunder if the Void Spirit's in the right position. They're going to double smoke. This is a heavy commitment from ChubbyBoiz, but like you said, this an all-important stage in the game, where if ChubbyBoiz win one fight and get second Roche, then they are in prime position.
Just becomes so much harder for you to be able to lock the enemy team down. I mean, I suppose the Urshock doesn't have quite as insane value just because you've got that diffusal blade on the Ricky. You're always going to be able to get, the regular enrage off, but Urshock itself, I feel like Ricky, while he's great at being able to take out these backline targets, a big part of his priority as well is just making sure that Ursa is low on mana as possible. I mean, he doesn't have the wand anymore, right? So very few ways for him to be able to regen that mana. Roche is up.
Breeze going to scout as well, so either side have the information. Breeze!
Oh, the batch!
Dude, he's playing with fire, man!
Oh,
run them back into the sentry. Breeze, just gets the time lapse off, but now MKS pouncing. An early usage of the BKB from the Ursa. If they can continue to kite the bear, a decent start. Honestly, it's not the worst losing Weaver for the BKB trade. Rolling Thunder on cooldown as well.
Roll. Yeah, that's the bigger thing for mine. I was talking about whoever wins the team fight is going to be who gets that position 3. Arcane Rune on a... Oh, did they see that smoke come through? I think they were just out of range of the high ground.
Zero. Gonna try and lead. Narman as well. Doesn't clip anyone with the roll. Another early use of the BKB. They're going to look to target down Seal, but he's just juking to the southern side. But Army Geniuses, they've locked onto the key component. It's going to be Xiao Bomb onto the backline, taking care of the Shadow Demon. And now Azura trailing the Pangolier as well, utilizing this Arcane to perfection. But still, Army Geniuses, the control, the big issue for them. They can't stay on top of the heroes at the moment.
Seal did a fantastic job. How the hell did he live through all of that? Just being able to get away with the use of the Force Staff, really exploiting the lack of lockdown that they've got right now. And, well, with that position 3 dead, again, it is a big part of the damage potential coming through.
See Zero. Sion's going to jump under the ward. Nice roll from Narman, though. He's going to be able to hold back the Ursa. That's a lot of their damage to blow up the Ember. And meanwhile, Ursa drops. You trade the life for the Ember Spirit, but DB and Narman want to win the team fight. Going aggressively inside Dire's jungle. They're going to backtrack towards their tier 2, but now with the Rolling Thunder back up from Xiao Yu. He'll turn to try and catch anyone else. Breeze is out, along with DB. Who landed on the gem after all that?
I think...
Are they going to still get Breeze? Alright, so in the end, ChubbyBoiz, without the Ursa, they can't take Roche, but you still do get the kill advantage.
Ricky ended up taking.
Okay. Were you ready for action in the next 20 seconds?
Of course. Born for it. I mean, the thing is, these BKBs, they're so important for Army Geniuses. We've just seen how many times they've been able to be chain locked down time after time after time. Ember Spirit, he's got his. Ricky, still one component away. Narman, what, 50 gold? But thing is, it's just going into Roche. You won't have the time unless you just sell the magic stick and look to buy it. He does.
Invisibility.
Yes. Keep in mind about this poke that Army Geniuses have. Big concern that MKS doesn't want to use the early BKB. We saw this be a huge issue along with that Rolling Thunder prior.
Yeah. That was the other aspect. Rolling Thunder still had about 5 seconds or so left on it, so
they're actually going to use it for Narman. Look at the importance they're putting on the Earth Spirit. I feel like he is one of the more valuable components of the lineup of Army Geniuses. But it looks like he won't have an opportunity to get that match. Oh, Willy Wummy! Hang on a second. Get down, Mr. President. Narman stays alive, and now he tries to turn it. But the Scepter defensively, still it's going to set himself up for a beautiful smoke cloud. A 2-for-1 in the end, though.
Yeah, the only reason that Narman died was because of that Yule Scepter, right? It ended up rolling him right in the face of the Ursa, and that's not where you want to be. But that's just the value, right? He was so close to being able to pick up that BKB, sells the one for it, and ends up winning Army Genius the team fight. Look at this.
Jump the Shadow Demon.
Nice.
Early use of the Ghost Scepter force as well, but the Atos going to prevent a retreat, and MKS sees no angle into this. Another kill, man. What a back and forth game we have, but this is exactly what I was hoping for our game 1 to kick off Spring Tour. Danog, it's an even game. We've got 51 freaking kills. It's pre-30 minutes.
This is C Dota in a nutshell, right? This is exactly what you wanted to see. Well, he's getting closer and closer to being able to pick up that Gleipnir as well on the Weaver. Very leveled, level 16 as well on Varese, and he's outputting a good amount of damage on his own right in a lot of these team fights. So to remove a lot of the vision around the Roche pit. They know exactly where ChubbyBoiz are going to want to have that vision.
Another Rolling Thunder. This time it's going to be for the Weaver. Okay. Get the kill, a little bit of momentum maybe back to ChubbyBoiz with getting a kill trade.
And Jiao Yu is the highest level on his entire team. The only one that's ahead of him is DB, who's 8-1 and 16.
Double bounty bottom. But we've got some items now starting to be picked up. BKB looks like for DB, along with Silern on the Void Spirit.
Blast Trick is amazing.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
who's got that?
The Diadu, I would be giving it to Xiao Bonbon.
Okay. Oh, MKS has got Basher now, also with Spider Legs. That is quite the combo. Now you've got a secondary way, and it's not a heavy commitment like a Rolling Thunder to get a kill.
Through the line, the long way around, they want to try and go for a backstab into this Roche pit, but it seems like they might be in different minds here. Maybe just looking to test it out with the smoke if they were going into the Roche pit. Not yet.
Kind of smoke.
Zero.
Oh no, they're going to reveal the bashes. There's the BKB, but it's not going to matter. Oh, will it remnant out? And now Narman jumps. He's onto the Ursa. MK's going to look to stand his ground with the BKB. They're continuing to roll. Shadow Demon's the target. Banishment's going to give a little bit of breathing room, but down underneath the remnants of the tier 1 mid, it's Silern and the rest of ChubbyBoiz pursuing on for more. It's going to be the duo support of Army Geniuses standing their ground in the river, but Ursa, it wins that man fight well and truly. But now with the rage out, he's still going to get the assistance, kiting out the Void Spirit thanks to the sleep, but he's out of range of the silence. It's just giving them an opportunity to reset and reevaluate how they want to take the fight. They get rid of the Ursa, targeting Void Spirit next as well. Ursa's even going to buy back into this fight. Can he get re-involved though? Varese, DB still standing on his ground. He's going to try and jump Xiao Bonbon. A nice force up away, but it's not going to be able to reposition. But DB is out of mana. Gems on the deck if they can pick it up to control the Ricky. Another use of the sleep. And Ursa's gone. A dieback for MKS. An instant tip from Wami. Recognizing how important that dieback is for the story of this game, and Wami might get another kill. No mana for the life drain.
He was 10 mana short, man. So close for that. And I mean, this is a big deal, right? Not only do you get the dieback, you probably are looking to take away this second Roche from an Ursa, and Ember Spirit, who bought back, he's going to have that second life still. He's going to be able to pick this one up. So really nice team fights coming through there. Who did the most damage? I mean, yeah, Wami was only second to DB throughout all of that. And a big part of that is just how tanky and how much they're playing together as a team, right? Ember Spirit making good use out of that Black King bar. Multiple heals coming through from Wami as well for the rest of his team. It's really nice teamwork coming through from Army Geniuses. And this is the comfort that I was talking about. You know, a team that's knows exactly how each other plays, how they want to move in team fights. That's something that money and talent can't buy.
Xiaoyu just outright buys an Octarine. With the Rolling Thunder off. There will be no extra follow-up. Now with DB popping BKB, looks like we're just trading a BKB for the Rolling Thunder, but Dire, yeah, trying to get back into the area. Dipping to the bottom tier 2 tower. Sillen's got another Astral Step, so he's outie.
Just doing circle work, and they finally realize, oh, they've actually got a ward up on the high ground. Imagine that. And less than a 1k net worth lead at 33 minutes into the game with 60 kills. You love to see it.
Alright, so Aegis on Azura. They gave him the Aghanim shot as well, and he's closing in onto the Scepter. So that is quite a combo for the Ember to have. Remnant bashes out. Can he get a secondary one? It doesn't matter because Sillen's in. Have the chain control and the damage ramps up when he can find the Fury swipes. He's going to pop an early BKB. You have to continue to be cautious about MKS. They're going to kick him to the middle of the fight. They're doing their best to kite out the Ursa. Doesn't want to pop that BKB just yet. Freeze, use of the time lapse. Now they're onto the Ember once again. No! Ember's gone. MKS able to lock onto his target. He'll pounce down to the low ground as well. Finding another support. Another key component in DB. Oh, he's got a lucky haste. So I don't think they catch up to this man. Maybe Wami though. Maybe Wami. Blink up in a couple of seconds. Shock preventing this.
Oh, the dagger. The sleep dart.
Who's got the gem though? Xiaoyu's got the gem. Oh my god.
They know.
Wait, they still
figured
scared?
it out.
Oh my dude.
That's the 2 dieback timers though on the Weaver and the Ember Spirit. Kind of surprised that they were able to take him down so quickly through the 2 lives there. I mean, playing with fire, of course, whenever you're going to be buying out. He's got that level 20. Oh, just all that Sleight of Fist hero damage just feels like it's going to be racking up a whole lot more. But again, the pendulum swims back in ChubbyBoiz' favor. Have a look at that win probability. It can't make up its mind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Walking the
attack.
graph. Up and down we go.
Radiant structures
And now
are
it's...
fortified.
I feel like Ember's in a bit of a weird stage. I was just going to say, I feel like you have to consider the Aeon Disc, and May does queue it up. The
Radiant's
Ursa
bottom
is just
tower
continuing to be a menace in this game.
What's he holding on to in the moment? So he's gone the Enchanted Quiver. I get it. Sure, I'll be hoping for something like, before he gets the Aeon Disc, maybe even something like an Ascetics Cap, just to be able to reduce a lot of that lockdown onto himself. Speaking of Aghanim Scepters, Void Spirit, picking one up is basically as significant, right? It feels like a lot of the time, if you don't have the Rolling Thunder, the only thing that's going to be stopping this life drain coming through is the Aether Remnant. But now, you've got 2 charges of the Resonant Pulse to be able to do that.
Precious bounty.
I think another thing is dude, Xiaoyu is somehow level 24, but he's second in net worth.
Dire's
Yeah.
top tower
He's doing
is
a
under
lot.
I
attack.
don't know how he's this farmed, but he's putting in major work in game 1 for ChubbyBoiz.
He's, oh, I really like this from him. He's sending out the Blast Rig to himself. He realizes, we're going to win these team fights as long as I'm alive. They have nothing to deal with this Pangolier in the Rolling Thunder. No one wants to right-click him, right? It's going to be a Sleight of Fist maybe that catches him off guard, but as long as he's playing around that Rolling Thunder, he's totally fine, right? 13-second duration, 52-second cooldown. So as long as he gets caught out, not outside of that, he'll be just fine.
Yeah. You see at the moment the... Okay, actually, Ursa went for Abyssal Blade. I was going to say he had MKB queued up for quite some
Radiant's
time,
top
but
tower is under
it's
attack.
like Abyssal is going to be the item of choice here for MKS, and now your jump is even scarier. And one thing we haven't also mentioned this game is the Ursa pairing with the Ogre. Like, he's one of the best blood loss targets, and we're really seeing that be a factor. And if it gets to a stage where Seal's level 20, that plus 25 blood loss attack speed is really something that's going to continue to amplify the Ursa.
Radiant are scanning.
And, well, it looks like they're just trying to cut waves as much as possible right now. You know, the ChubbyBoiz feeling confident. They realize that while they've got this Pangolier just standing behind the Ursa, he is now at that stage where he can look to basically
Radiant's
solo
top
these towers
tower
down,
is
just
under
constantly
attack.
being given over the
Dire's
bloodlust.
bottom tower
You might
is under
lose a
attack.
tier 2 in exchange, but I don't think you care on ChubbyBoiz when you do have the relatively weaker tower pushing lineup if you're going for any kind of trades. DD though.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Breeze. As TP's back. Look to reset though. Maybe utilizing this time. Both sides have put a lot of their
Radiant's top
vision down
tower
on
is
the
under
enemy's
attack.
territory. Will be a bit awkward. It feels like Radiant want to go to their triangle to deward that area, but they also kind of want to stay by the enemy's triangle because they have 3 wards situated.
It's actually so important that Hustler hits level 20. That extra 3 seconds to the Geomagnetic Grip Silence.
Maybe. Oh, he's got a double damage rune.
He just
Gonna
hit
look to
25
jump
as well.
onto Seal as well. A quick and easy kill, getting rid of the Ogre Magi, but now they're in. Abyssals
Bash.
out from MKS, the Bashes as well. Let's see if they're going to have the chain control after the BKB expires, and Zhao Yu, where he provides that with perfection. The Rolling Thunder, cutting the team fight in half. Versus still, he's got to battle up against Azura. With the BKB on cooldown now, MKS is going to be concerned, and it looks like with the retreat. They're aware of this as Radiant, they're continuing on forward, though. They don't want to let them go out like that. And Naaman, a deep dive, and he's going to be penalized. The rest of Army Genius is hesitant with going this far behind the tier 2. They'll still be able to get rid of the Void Spirit. Zera's got a couple more remnants. Doesn't find the vision to jump anyone else, though.
Important thing for Army Geniuses, though, is that the important hero for making sure to make the most out of that Team 5 victory does survive. Wommy, he's still there, still layering in those Nether Blasts. He'll be able to take a tier 2 mid as well as bottom.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And that chain lockdown was perfect coming through from ChubbyBoiz onto DB. Just the
Wommy.
bashes with Bloodlust. Oh,
Zhao
Wommy
Yu's
has
level
to be
25,
careful.
so he's got the Rolling Thunder cooldown. It's already back up, and MKS, he steps in, provides the damage, so another pick off onto a core.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Back and forth this game, man. You don't know who's going to be able to take it out.
Are we going 60? I know that's in 20 minutes, so this is quite the call to make, but dude, how
It's
does
very
this
possible.
game end? No one hits high ground well.
Yep. That's the thing, right? How do you do it? They've got, I believe, a leveler on Army Genius's side, so that's something, I guess, but no one really wants to be holding it right now. It's Weaver doing it, right? So he's just trying to become
Scaling
the
Weaver.
semi-carry.
Let's go.
Don't hate the BKB either.
Oh my, dude, Xiaobonbon's got 15 deaths, but my guy's still trying to... Oh, it's a long Roche respawn as well, you hate to see it. This Ags if Xiaobonbon can get it.
Big deal. Xiao Yu needs to be careful about wasting the Rolling Thunder, although they have a bit of an indication that Azura's playing around this area. Right, how close is he level 25? Still about the full level away, and Zillion is in a similar sort of avenue there. Man, if they're able to get that Dissimulate stun, that's so important to be able to lock down these squishy heroes, right? Like, all you need is that tiny little bit of burst to be able to chain lock down and join in with the rest of the team. 5-man smoke. They just removed the Observer Ward as well, so ChubbyBoiz will know that they're all grouped up together.
It's power position that Dire in. Zhao Yu gets a Rolling Thunder. Around the choke point, they're instantly going to jump with a follow-up and cause the burst. Enough to get rid of the life on the Weaver. And now they're aiming up the other support as well in Naaman. Yours going to give him a little bit of breathing room, but MKS still holding the Abyssal Blade. But Zhao Yu again. Rolling Thunder still on cooldown, so now they're going to utilize this. Recognize him with the ultimate expended. Azura's going to jump. Nice timing with the BKB. And now Ursa, he's going to control. He doesn't have any magic immunity. He's going to go on down as Raiding. The patience, the composure for them to wait out the abilities, wait out the items, and then they pounce. And they're not done. Targeting Xiaobonbon. Zhao Yu's got his ulti back
again.
up. All right.
Yeah.
But DB... he's still got the magic immunity to play with as well. The buyback on the Void Spirit, but DB. Nice heads up play. Just a BKB TPR, wasting that buyback of the Void Spirit. Azura though.
He's got to get away.
Remnant's on cooldown. Couple more seconds. Silence for the first one. Second one's out afterwards. They're trying to get in range for Wommy for the life drain, but he will not be required. As Azura gets the Remnant out at the last second.
They're still picking out that Roche pit. It's not up yet. Still about 45 seconds away, so not the worst for ChubbyBoiz. And this chain lockdown coming through from Paco is just so good. Xiao Yu constantly taking out these heroes, even if it's just a Weaver, right? Again, he is in this awkward position where you don't want to focus everything onto him because he's a position 5. Because you've kind of ignored him, he's been able to go into this full, I am also kind of a carry build with the Gleipnir, with the Black King Bar. He's just able to do so much in a lot of these engagements. And Xiao Bonbon, he's closing in on his own Aghanim Scepter. Wonder if he's going to buy just one more component of it. Maybe the Ogre Axe to ensure his survivability for the next Roshan. Will keep him with buyback if he needs to have it.
Another smoke. Army Geniuses. They're out a window now with Ursa down. Xiao Yu once again is going to look to start the fight with the Rolling Thunder. In a great position to be able to chain control Varese, but doesn't get the third stun, so BKB out from the Weaver. That is Rolling Thunder now on cooldown. That's not the longest cooldown because of the Octarine and 25 talent.
I just noticed. So Ursa had purchased a full Diffusal Blade, and it was on the courier waiting at the secret shop because he wanted to have Diffusal Blade and Monkey King Bar. That's why he didn't have buyback. So he had to make sure to wait until he was back alive, sold his Diffusal Blade for half value, so now he's got that MKB.
Now ChubbyBoiz, they're going to smoke. She's up as well. What's it holding? Scepter, Cheese, and Aegis. Oh my lord. I mean, it's minuscule net worth lead. Under 1,000. 44 minutes in. What an even game. It's 51% probability. 51% for Army Geniuses. You could not have a closer game.
Don't quite have level 25 on the Ember Spirit. I wonder if that's something that they're considering. Yeah, they're just trying to... I'm sure he's saying to his team, get away from me while I'm doing this Ancient stack. I need to make sure I'm getting all of this solo experience. He still won't have it. So close. All right, there we go. Level 25 Ember Spirit, going up a level 25 Void Spirit. They have very different targets, though. As another Rolling Thunder used? I mean, I suppose he's got the Octarine core and the level 25, but... still need to be very careful about your positioning.
They're beelining straight away to the opposite side of the map. Weaver at the moment's going to be target down from Silen. MKS able to leap in as well, and Weaver's got no buyback now. Look at the Ember though, trying to target down Xiao Bonbon. Freshly picked up Aghanim Scepter. He needs to be able to utilize any of the abilities, but the chain control along with the silence won't give Xiao Bonbon an opportunity. Hang on, banished up. Xiao Bonbon gets the abilities out. He'll spam them before he dies, and now with the Purge, Weaver, no escape avenue. 2 down, Rolling Thunder back up. Xiao Yu, can he get in range? Jumps over the secret shops, able to get the last bash! They just get a 0, a 4-for-2 trade. Look at how much space the Shadow Demon was able to provide and just allow the cause to freely chuck out the damage in that fight.
We saw it yesterday during the open qualifiers, right? So many of these team fights lost around the high ground. This is an Observer Ward that was there for the previous engagement. Varese died the exact same way, 2 team fights in a row. And I was speaking with a few of the players, not necessarily from the teams, but from other Southeast Asian teams, and they're saying, man, do teams realize that there's more than one way to walk up onto the high ground? You could go around, you could go the full way. You don't need just this narrow little stair to be able to get up and try and contest the enemy's high ground. So that's the case. Weaver able to be taken down twice now. He popped the BKB, but he was just getting chain bashed.
Up the high ground they go now. They've only got mid shoved out. Looks like plenty of creeps to be able to keep the catapult. Oh, never mind. Okay, they both die.
Yeah, they got the kick through from the Earth Spirit. Very nicely done. Making sure that those last 2 hits went onto the siege creeps.
Radiant's middle tower.
You just gotta give up the planar rack.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Alright, and all of a sudden
Look how
this...
slow it is. It's so slow with the entire team essentially hitting it.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Varese just doing his best to play some Rat Dota. Level 23 Weaver.
Get to the range, relax. Okay. I'm trying to see what Varese goes next item. I want to know what
Something to help him survive, man. I honestly wouldn't hate the Aeon Disc, just so he's able to do something in a lot of these
Xiao's got a Hex.
Doesn't have the gem anymore on himself,
Yeah,
though.
where is the gem? It's on Silen, okay. net worth lead has been so even. I mean, prior it's felt like what the highest has been 3,000, and now all of a sudden up to 13,000 for ChubbyBoiz. One melee barracks advantage. But Aegis, Aghanims on the Ursa as well. There's a double damage on Azura. He's able to pick it up. Early usage of the BKBs though. DB's going to look to jump.
Coming.
He's getting kite at the moment, and with Ursa showing up, they're going to have to evacuate away from the area. The big bag bear is so angry, and he's going to be able to take all that aggressive out onto the Ricky. And now they're locking onto Narman as well as MKS. My lord, he's just tearing heroes apart left, right, and center. Breeze? Oh, they're going to find him. Sillin, what a placement in the Remnant. Hexa MKS can close another casualty. At least the fight is away from the barracks, but they've got plenty of time to walk it down.
You can understand them wanting to go for that DD, right? Like, it's such a big game changer. You can't let the enemy team have it, but it's just another one of these instances where ChubbyBoiz, the supports, both Seal and Bombi, have been doing a great job at being able to kite people around, take away a lot of the damage so that, I mean, every single team fight, it feels like Zillow just has complete freedom to go in onto your back lines and get that chain lockdown needed.
Alright, one buyback. MKS, he's in. Womi's on the side. Womi's going to be incredibly important to keep the Ember alive. And now with the multiple buybacks, but Ursa stands his ground. Got the Aegis, of course. BKB up in a couple of seconds as well. Azura's going to jump back in again, but Xiao Yu with the Rolling Thunder on cooldown. That is enabling Army Geniuses to get rid of the Pangoliers life. They're looking for more, but... Oh, no, man. That's such a costly fight, though. Ricky buyback, Weaver buyback, and the Earth Spirit buyback.
Yep, only able to get the one kill out of it. I mean, the one plus side to it was that Azura was the one to get that huge kill streak, so he's got the refresher if he wants to buy it, but I just feel like with all of those buybacks previously expended, he feels like, look, I'm the only one really that's standing between my team losing if we do lose a single other team fight. Still goes for it, though.
It's so difficult. Oh, not the illusion bait. Azura. He's already used Slight. Multicast, he gets a second, but MKS. Nice use of the illusion, though. Stops the extra hits from MKS. And wait, Narman's rolling aggressively. They don't have Wami for the fight. Pango's even going to look to buy back as well. They're targeting Xiao Bonbon down. He's going to end up falling to stop. And now Xiao Yu rolling Thunder out. It's a key ultimate to be able to continue to chase heroes down. No Ember buyback, no Narman buyback and Breeze. There's no way you can hide. There's nowhere to run as ChubbyBoiz surround the Weaver inside the pit. 3 town, no buybacks. I don't know if we're getting 60 minutes.
And this is one of those times where Wami, he abandoned his team, unfortunately. You know, when you've used 3 buybacks previously, Ember bought out for the refresher, you can't be backing off when people are dying. You need to make sure that you, as the one person that still at the time had the buyback, was there with the rest of the team. But I mean, this should be game, right? I don't even think you go this tier 3. I think you try and end. You know at least 2 of these heroes don't have buyback.
Oh, get the bounty bottom. And we need 70 gold for buyback. Yeah, Ricky's going out for it. Oh, alright. And Urspirit's like, just get the Garia, please. Anything else?
Using the flicker to get there a little bit faster on DB.
Okay. 30 seconds is going to be forced to buy back, which is so awkward.
They have Glyph in 1 second.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Ember buyback is going to look to jump. Catching them off guard. DB trying to deal with Xiao Bonbon as well. The Ember's going to fly over as well, but that's a lot of remnants already used from Azura. If they bash him once, they might control him for afterwards. Remnant back. Nice use of the darts. Going to give Azura the opportunity to reposition. They're wasting valuable time, though. DB jumped in once again. Cyclone Dot. For the Void Spirit. Again, they haven't been able to deal with Xiao Bonbon, so the defensive banishment will give Silan an opportunity to dissimulate to the remnants of the barracks.
Is no one gonna die? Really? After all
maybe
that?
Wummy. Okay, yes, Glyph is out. Ogre. Oh, okay. Alright, Ogre's gonna die. And now DB. He's got the dagger up in a couple of seconds here, but
Ricky.
Meanwhile, MKS jumps at the same time. Tricks of the trade, giving DB invulnerability. And now the rest of Army Geniuses, they're starting to respawn. They've killed off the Void Spirit, who's going to look to buy back to rejoin the fight. But ChubbyBoiz, they've signaled the retreat. MKS, he's playing on the low ground. does not want to throw this game. Man, I like that call a lot. It's a newly formed team. The experience isn't really there, but the fact that someone on their team makes that call.
Oh, man. I still think they could have ended the game, right? If they just went for that tier 4, they waited, they let the Riki go pick up the bounty rune, and that could come back to bite them at the end. Void Spirit having to use that buyback as well means that I'm sure he's going to be the main focus outside of the Shadow Demon.
What's the buyback status? Look, only Ursa. Roger that.
Used a bunch of demonic cleansers in that fight as well on the Shadow Demon. It's so important, right, against the Decrepify.
DB, don't do this. You don't have heroes behind you. Lincoln's DB gets the BKB. Abyssal's now being used for MKS. They're on top of the Void Spirit as well. That's going to be a dieback Silen. Somehow dissimulate to the western side. Silence out so DB can't continue the hunt. However, the time's been expended. We're army geniuses. They still get the kill on the Void Spirit, but what cost? Ember's Hex. Another blink over. Wami, great use of his own Hex to simulate, just continuing to kite MKS, but Wami is in no man's land. Just delaying, but it looks like Ursa and Xiaoyu will surround the Pugna. Meanwhile, Varize as well, hiding to the eastern tree line.
Like you're going to get anywhere without me.
Yeah, Bobby's been really good this game, just being able to survive far longer than he should, even able to get away from a Weaver that's chasing him down, so... Oh, man. All the buybacks starting to come back into the equation, although everyone's actually been used except for the Ursas. So this is going to be a 3v4 team fight with the Ember Spirit. He's got the Refresher Orb available in another couple of seconds, so there is the potential, of course, for them to be able to come back. I feel like they would want to wait for the Earth Spirit, though.
Radiant's bottom tower
Can Ursa get any more farmed? Satanic now completed 25 and 17. What a debut for MKS in the DPC.
He still doesn't have a shard.
Radiant's bottom
Wait, what?
tower has fallen.
Alright, jump in. Xiaoyu trying to control the backline, giving them an opportunity to just get rid of Varize, who just brought back. Now it's all up to Azura and Wami. Spirit's gonna respawn shortly. Seeing the difficulty though, when you can't kill Xiao Bonbon, feels like you can't kill the cause.
To another 3v4 scenario, but they're just going to go take it easy. And they can look at the pings coming out to the bottom side. There's 3 waves coming into this. You got to make sure to deal with it, but they're losing the war of attrition. I do feel like it is going to be that 60-minute game, though.
I'm so confused. I thought MKS got the second shard from Roche.
No?
I'm...
I guess not.
Dude, I'm 95% sure. I swear I saw him use it. I mean, obviously not. I don't know. What's going on?
This is just you gaslighting me again. You do it all the time.
Oh, shut the hell up. Oh, you give the Aghanims to. Oh, Seal.
I think it
oh.
All right. Love to see it.
Azura? Okay, got the Arcane. MKS refresher shot in the backpack. Azura. He doesn't have a remnant in the base. Second remnant. Enough distance away.
Jesus.
Dude, Xiaoyu hex out MKS. He's onto the Pugner instead. They're trying to continue the space, but Azura's about to fall, guys! No! He couldn't life drain because of the BKB. Oh.
Creeps pushing in. There's still that solitary range racks on the top side, but unfortunately for Ember, no way for him to buy back into this. It felt like he was a
Silen's going to make space. Instant jump. Ursa's going to be able to follow up as well. DB, great target with the sleeping dart though. Hiding the MKS at best as possible. But they know, I mean, the Ursa's almost unkillable with Xiao Bonbon alive, so Naman's going to look to try and target the Shadow Demon, but he doesn't even get close to killing Xiao Bonbon off. And what do you know? Rolling Thunder's goddamn back up. Feels like it's almost full uptime on Xiaoyu. The Bible from the Earth Spirit. If it's going to look to target down Silen, they've got Mega Creep's advantage now. Off to the side though, the Ursa's falling relatively low. He's able to jump on forward here with the Urs. And now he's on top of the Weaver as well. Target down, beyond godlike for MKS. Another use of the sleeping darters. DB trying to reposition, but the control at this stage of the game, it makes it so difficult for you to get back to your safety of the towers.
Everyone's alive.
As ChubbyBoiz, no one's falling, and they are just overwhelming Army Geniuses inside their own base. Throne exposed. A 2 against 5, 2 against the world. You might get the Aegis, or you might not. MKS might just pounce and kill everyone before they even get the Ursa, and the G's are dropped. And
Under attack.
what a debut for ChubbyBoiz. Game 1, 58 minutes in, 104 goddamn kills.
You love to see it, you know, SEA Dota at its finest, and again, it just seems like it's the flavor of the month coming through here. The heroes might not be, but so important being able to take those key team fights, particularly around the Roche fit, in areas that aren't going to be those choke points, right? Multiple times that game, Army Genius is just walking up into ChubbyBoiz vision. You've got a Pangolier. Zhao Yu played exceptional that game. Great evasive maneuvers coming through from Seal and Zhao Bonbon. I say that even though he died 19 times on the Shadow Demon, he still made life so much harder than probably Army Geniuses was expecting it to be. So very well-deserved victory. What a bloodbath, and what a way to open up this spring season.
I don't know how Vomi had the most damage in that game with 84,000. Second highest was the MKS Ursa with 74,000. But like you said, what a way to open up the spring tour. And for ChubbyBoiz, though, they got some of their key strategies with the Shadow Demon and with the Pangolier. And I think looking into the second game, is this something Army Geniuses have to look to identify and maybe change the first phase in their bans?
Not necessarily. I mean, I feel like the game was going really solid for them, right? Even though the win probability was still pretty damn even up until, what, the 45 or so minute mark. It's just how to take those appropriate fights, realizing the strengths of the enemy lineup, because as well as Varese was able to farm and dished out a decent amount of damage in his own right, there were too many deaths that he just had that seemed to have no purpose other than, oh, I've got time lapse, I'll be able to survive. First, you could understand it. Second time, a bit iffy, but third and fourth times, it just felt like they didn't adapt to how ChubbyBoiz were looking to play around that high ground vision.
ChubbyBoiz, a game 1 victory, 104 kills, 58 minutes in, a bloodbath, but that is what we all love about Southeast Asian Dota. Let's see if we can get the same thing. I mean, we want just as many kills in game 2. Hopefully the players can take a little bit of a break and set ourselves up for just as much of an exciting second game. We'll see you guys all shortly after a break.